So take out this, the first person in each row got a piece of paper to hand out. It's yellow, it's blank. Here's what we're going to do. I want this to be a triangle at the end. We're going to create a triangle. So I'm going to take, doesn't matter which corner, take a corner and I'm going to fold it over, not to the other corner, but I'm going to line up the edges.
Looks like we're doing an origami.
Kind of like we're doing origami. So I'll show you. You end up with something that looks like this with this bottom like rectangle at the bottom. So I took this corner. So basically like this edge, I want it over here.
I can't.
So we just fold it, just like this. It's not corner to corner. It's like this corner down to the edge. Okay?
Like this?
So you end up what I'm holding.
Like this thing?
What is this?
You end up with this little rectangle at the bottom. All right? That's it right here. Okay, now next step. We're going to end up folding this rectangle inside your triangle. So I'm going to first, this little rectangle piece at the bottom, I'm going to fold up, crease it, fold up, crease it. Okay. And then I'm going to unfold the rectangle, unfold the triangle, and put the rectangle inside the triangle. Put the rectangle inside the triangle. Open the triangle. Emmanuel, open the triangle. And then we're going to squish it. Yes. Proper vocabulary here. And then you end up with a triangle. So you're going to hide that piece of rectangle inside the triangle. You fold it up. Then you open up your triangle and you put the rectangle inside the triangle. Open your triangle. Open your triangle. Fold that rectangle inside.
I got it.
Good job. Now fold the triangle back up. And that's it. Your rectangle is inside. You guys did a really good job. Don't tell first period that you did a better job than first period.
I think I did it wrong. It's not pointing.
Terrible.
Doesn't matter.
It's terrible.
Doesn't matter.
It's terrible. 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 Terrible.
Can I guess this is terrible?
All right. Here's what is the most important part. You're going to write these 3 letters pretty big. I'll do it. Then you can see how big I'm doing it. You're going to write a D, a line, an S, a big dot, and a big T. Okay, I'll show you how it is on the screen. And then look how big it is in real life. Okay, they're pretty big letters, right? So I need pretty big letters.
Pretty big letters.
And these are the letters I need you to write. But I need you to understand they're pretty big. Okay? I need that line, that dot. So once you have your triangle on your desk, write these 3 things, or 4 or 5. D, line, S, dot, T. Ready? We have this. This is going to be a tool that we're going to be using for the next couple of days. Okay? This is a, you know how you guys, some of you use a multiplication table? It's helpful for some problems. Well, this is kind of like a multiplication table. It's going to help us with some problems. Okay? All right. Just flip it over. Ready? You'll make it work. Okay, here we go. Back to your notes. I'm going to have my triangle right here on the top. Leave it there for a minute. Today's date is 1/26/22. Okay? And we're going to learn about distance, speed, and time. Why do you think on our triangle we wrote a D, an S, and a T?
Because it was an agenda. Ah.
So in your triangle, what do you think the D stands for?
Distance.
S?
Speed.
T.
Fine.
Yeah. So this triangle that we constructed. She's using it for medical reasons. You have no medical reasons. Distance, speed, and time. All right. So distance, speed, and time. Got it? All right. So, little intro first. Distance. How do we measure distance?
By just looking at it?
How do you measure distance in the real world?
By miles.
Miles?
Miles, kilograms.
Mm,
No, we don't.
you're close. How else do we measure something? Millimeters? Kilometers? What else?
Anything else that's big?
How else do we measure a distance?
I'm pretty sure she already did that.
Meters? Yeah. How would you measure the distance the snail crawled? Centimeters? Because do snails crawl fast and a lot?
No.
No, right? How would I measure the distance from where I'm sitting to the door? What would I use?
A bat.
Foot? Right? Yards? A yardstick? That's the, like the 3 feet is a yard. Similar to a meter. Miles, millimeters, kilometers, meters, centimeters, feet, yards. All of these are tools to measure a distance, right? How far do you live from McFadden to your house? It might be miles. It might be feet. It might be yards, right? Depends.
136,000
Okay.
miles.
When you read how far, ... Okay, gentlemen, when you read on a word problem, when it says how far, guys, you're asking for distance. How far do you live? How far is second period? Compared to first period? How far is the restrooms from here? That's distance, right? Okay. Now, next one is speed. Can you leave some space here? Like right here. Just leave like a finger or two, because I'm going to write something in here a little bit later. So leave me some space right here. Speed. Does anybody know how we measure speed?
Running?
With the
Elizabeth? Yeah, it's called miles per hour, or mph. If you've ever seen, like, when you're driving or walking in the car,
2 miles per hour, 6 miles per hour.
you'll see the sign that says 35 or 40 or whatever on the freeway, 65, and then you'll see mph next to it, which means miles per hour. That's how you measure speed. Miles per hour. And now, will I do miles per hour for a snail? No, it would be like 0.00000 miles, right? They don't go very far. So maybe for, I want to know how far did the snail travel in an hour. So I give him an hour to go crawl outside in the pavement. Is it really going to go a mile in an hour? No. So I would measure it maybe like in inches. You guys all know what an inch looks like, right? So this is an inch, right? So can I measure with an inch how far the snail crawled in an hour?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? It's a good measurement. So I can do for a snail, I can do inches per maybe hour, or maybe how many inches does it crawl in a minute? Okay, ready, set, go, snail, go. And then I can,
You have a turbo.
turbo. The reason I use a snail is because I'm pretty sure all of you have seen a snail somewhere, and you realize it's so slow, right? And so it helps you understand, like, I can't measure it like I would do a car, right? A car, super fast, miles per hour. So I would do maybe like inches per hour or inches per minute. You guys, how long does it take you to run a mile? Let's say 15 minutes, right?
No, we have to give.
Less than 15?
Less than 50.
You're running a mile in less than 10 minutes?
Two half miles.
Roar.
I got 6. Yeah, I walked the whole thing for. My last one, I did not have 6.
Okay.
The whole mile is like.
They expect us to get like 3 minutes.
We get 20 minutes.
Half a mile.
Wait, what? If it's half
Okay.
an hour, then we get like 10.
Okay. So when you read how fast, ... when you read a word problem that says how fast, we're dealing with speed. If you read a question and it says how fast, you're answering speed. How fast did the ant crawl from the door to Miss Lomelli's donut? How fast did it get to my donut? Not fast enough.
10 minutes.
All right.
Million hours.
Leave some space. Leave some space. Last one is time. How do we measure time? What? No, what? Oh, sorry. What units do I use for time? No. Not what do I... Sorry. I have to rephrase my question. Not what do I use. It's what units do I use? Hours. Minutes. Milliseconds. Days. Months. Years. Centuries. ... Right?
And there's more.
Right. How long does it take so-and-so to do his homework?
2 hours.
3 centuries. I'm still waiting.
Oh, wow.
I'll take that one.
Okay. This is the tricky question. The question that they'll ask you, and kids have a hard time with this. They'll give you a word problem, and then the question says, how long ... And students will read how long, and they think it's a distance. But it's not a distance. So when you read, how long did it take you to do one problem?
10 minutes.
Okay, so when you read how long, it's going to be time. It's not, hey, how long did it take you to do that one problem? Oh, 5 miles.
What?
Exactly. But kids, when they read how long, they think, oh, how long is it? Like measurement, like, oh, it's 5 inches. It's not. When you read how long, it is time, Diego. How long did it take you to get to second period? How long did it take you to go through the lunch line? How long did it take you to eat that hamburger? That's time. All right. Now, you know how I told you to leave some space on all of them?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back to distance. How?
She told you to leave space.
Multiple times.
How far?
Okay. How do I solve for distance? This will tell you the formula. I want to know how do you solve for distance. So what you do is you fold over and cover up the letter D for distance. If I fold over and cover up the D for distance, what am I left with?
Speed and time.
Speed and time. Speed, what does this dot mean? Times. So in my little space right here, distance is equal to speed times time. Write this down. Distance is equal to speed times time. And our triangle tells us that. If I cover up the D, it tells me what's left over. Whatever is left over, that's, Edwin, the formula that I'm using. Put that away. Okay. Speed. Uncover the distance, because we already did that. Speed. I'm going to cover up the S. Cover up the S. What am I left with? What does this line mean in math? Divide. So speed, because we covered up the S, is equal to distance divided by time. So I'm going to write that down. Speed is equal to distance divided by time. Distance divided by time. Okay. I want to know how long it takes you to answer the question or go the distance. So I'm going to cover up the T. And what is time equal to?
D divided by S.
D divided by S. Distance divided by speed. So whatever you're solving for, you cover up that letter. Whatever's left over is the math that you're going to use. Okay? So let's see. T is equal to distance over speed. You're writing this down, like as I'm doing it. You don't have a choice, kids. You're not old enough to have a choice. You write everything the teacher writes down. When you're in college, that's when you get to choose. Do I have to write this down? No, I don't want to write this down. That's because you're paying for your education. Right now, you write everything down. Later, when you're older, you decide what you do and you don't write down. But by then you realize, oh, I got to write everything down. That's what I need to do. Yeah. That's fine. But, right now, you write everything down. You got no choice. Later on, you decide what you want to do. Freedom. And then comes all these bills, and you're like, oh, bills, no. Yeah. All right. Okay, we have some time. Let's do a problem or two. All right. Are we triangle ready? Okay. Miss Lamelli.
Miss Amelia, why are you using your cell phone?
Why not? That's why I became a teacher, so I can be in every single word problem.
You can't do anything.
Miss Lamelli traveled 5 hours in her super cool car. Remember that car that I bought last week?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to travel with it now.
Wait, what car?
And all the word problems I used, Miss O'Malley borrowed to buy her super cool car. You remember writing that down, right?
Yeah.
So now I'm going to travel in it. So Miss O'Malley traveled 5 hours in her super cool car. I don't know. If her average speed was 65 miles per hour, comma, how far did she travel? Question mark. All right, write that down. Okay. So you wrote the word problem. The hardest part, in my opinion, is figuring out what are you solving for. Are you solving for distance, speed, or time? What tells you what you're solving for? You're correct, Jason, and someone else over here. How far? How far tells you what you're solving for. So if you read how far, you are solving for distance. If you say speed, my speed is 65 miles per hour. Put a little S for speed. If you said time, well, my time is 5 hours. So what's the only thing that I don't have? Distance. So, but the question itself, how far, should tell you that you're solving for distance. All right, so I'm going to grab my triangle. I'm going to cover up what letter? D. Oh, there's my formula. Speed times time. So distance is equal to speed times time. All right, what's my speed? 65 times, what's my time? 5. All right, 65 times 5. No. Let's see, 5 times 5, 25, carry the 2. 5 times 6, 30 plus 2,
32.
32. So my distance is equal to 325 what? Miles. How do I know it's miles? Because right here, we're doing miles per hour. So it would be miles. That's not quite Las Vegas. It's almost to Las Vegas. No, LA is like 30 miles.
Depends on traffic.
But my average speed was 65 miles per hour. So I traveled 325 miles. So that's here to maybe like the border of Nevada. You know, when you go in the desert and all of a sudden it's like, oh, we're in Nevada?
Yeah.
That's probably maybe like 325 feet, 25 miles. All right.
It took us 5 hours to get there.
Okay. About 400, give or take. Luis ran a total of 15 miles over the weekend. Okay, he's in Run Strong, so they run a lot. I don't know, I'm just making that up. Or we're not talking about this week. We're talking about another Luis. If his average speed was 3 miles per hour, how long did it take him? Okay, let's write that down. Luis ran a total of 15 miles over the weekend.
Time.
If his speed was 3 miles per hour, so that's his average speed, how long did it take him?
Are we not gonna get homework?
What? Don't what? What's
The ball's gonna bring you in 10 minutes.
Okay, cool.
We're not done.
We're not done. And sometimes,
Plus, you're gonna have to
That
stay in.
girl does it and miss you. She just miss you.
love it.
Good boy.
It only took us like 21 weeks to learn the rules of the class.